What's up? What's up? Welcome to another market recap. Today is November 3rd, 2025. So I had one trade last night on Aussie yen. Well, it really wasn't last night. It was kind of this afternoon during New York for a small loss. So let's get into it. This essentially is, if we go back in time, we can move our pivot here. This essentially is a 1 hour IBO, a 10-minute CBO, and a 2-minute ACB. That's how I was looking at this trade. It's a little easier to see if we swap it down to our 4-hour layout and not on our daily, our 1 hour layout. So this is targeting a 10-minute run, right? So the only kind of weird thing about this trade from a 4-hour perspective is it had this like low, super large low test looking candle, right? At the time of entry of this trade, this candle hadn't closed yet, but I had my 1 hour kind of, with a break and a pullback and like a retest of the 1 hour 50. I had my 10-minute with a break of trend, which you can kind of, we can draw in here so you can see it, a break of trend and a pullback retesting. I think it was 0.618 fib. Yeah, 0.618 fib retesting the EMAs on my 10-minute, my 1 hour time frames. And then as well as on a 2-minute time frame, it's, kind of bouncing off the 2-minute 200. And I entered on a 5-second break of trend on this time frame. Was essentially his price is trending upwards when it broke here and broke this low right here on the 5-second. That's where I took the trade. Ultimately, it's still holding a 2-minute trend the whole time. So I took a pretty aggressive entry on this, but it was at all the resistance levels. So to get like a great kind of position size, in my mind, you have to go aggressive. So I'm okay with the entry on this. It was a tad bit aggressive. I could have waited for a 30-second or a 2-minute, but even waiting for a 30-second, like right here, would have been a very similar result. Wouldn't have been too different. Waiting for a 2-minute kind of entry of like an EMA break, potentially up here, but at this point the trade would have been invalidated. So it just kind of depends on which time frame you enter off of to take the trade. If waiting for a 2-minute entry, I don't think you would have taken this trade. I think you could have taken it with a 30-second or a 5-second or a 15-second entry. But I don't really have too many qualms about it, other than the fact of this kind of weird low test looking candle on the 4-hour time frame. Essentially, like if we're trading a 1 hour run, it'd be like the daily candle, right? That's how we're looking at this. So when price, essentially I was using the 2-minute time frame to manage the trade. So price continued to trend after my entry, and then eventually it broke the 2-minute trend, same kind of concept as the entry. Is it had a previous low here, price came down, broke it, as well as broke the 10-minute 50 or 2-minute 50 EMA. So that allows me to execute P1 of my management, which then is to clip the most recent high. So that's what I went ahead and did. And then price quickly kind of reversed and then stopped me out for about, I think it was a negative 0.48 R. Yeah, on this trade. So the interesting thing would be to see if my overall bias still plays out. Like if I chose to enter on this time frame and manage it on a 10-minute time frame, then I would just now maybe be at P1 on this kind of like break of all this here after it kind of popped up, right? And so I would still be in this trade if I was managing it off of a 10-minute time frame. I still feel like the 1 hour time frame overall is shaping up to break back down to at least the previous lows. Still have room to move on to your 4-hour 50. Still plenty of room to move on your daily time frame. So from a 1 hour layout, I can still see this trade. So we'll see what happens with it. I'm not a huge fan of like re-entries. Like if I enter into a trade, I take it, and then the trade goes against me. I execute management and it ends up stopping me out due to like management, but then continues going on. I don't like to be in the habit of re-entering trades because I feel like it just kind of fuels emotional trading, right? Like it just fuels kind of revenge trading and things of that nature. It feels like removing stop losses or doing just like weird stuff. So in my mind, it's just try and execute to the best of the ability. Hopefully the trade breaks down and goes in your favor. If not, hopefully you can execute some sort of manage it, be it pull some risk off the table or move the trade to a break even, and then wait for it to hit profit targets. So with that kind of in mind, the trade is what it is. But yeah. Unfortunately, Euro Pound was the main trade I was looking for last night. It never really pulled back. Like it had a minor pullback, and then it had a follow through, and then it didn't completely follow through. So there wasn't really a way to trade it either way. Either trade the wave 3 or trade the like wave 2 kind of pullback, or even play like a wave 4 pullback. So it just kind of popped up a little bit and then just slowly fizzled down. So anyway, that's my trade for the night. For the watch list for this upcoming session, I've got 2 groups. I have a Euro group and a Pound group. Main trade I'm looking for is this Pound Swiss, but we'll get into it in a moment. Let's pop out of replay. So Euro Aussie, similar to kind of Aussie Yen, right? I think this has a pretty decent kind of daily level here. You know, you have these multiple lows here on the daily time frame. 4 hour, you can see it. 1 hour, you can see it. You do have kind of a break of the 1 hour 50, but now it's kind of broken back below, which is a little weird. 10-minute time frame looks okay. I saw this at the same time I was looking at that Aussie Yen trade. Aussie Yen was the first one that presented an entry. But at the time, like this had a pretty clean pullback, and if it would have just stopped right here, these 10-minute EMAs, which would have lined up with the 1 hour 50, and then presented an entry here to go long, I think that would have been a really nice trade. But now it's kind of weird since it's broken back below and then moved a little bit sideways. But I still think this has potential to move to like your 1 hour 200, 4 hour 50. So see what happens with it. Also have Euro CAD, similar kind of concept. Most of these euros are all sitting at somewhat of a level in their daily time frames. They kind of like somewhat like you can throw in a line here and relatively see it on your 4 hour time frame with Euro CAD. But you have a break and a pullback. I think it's an option to take this long, but you don't have a ton of room to move in your daily time frame, the daily 50. So it's not the best. It's an option. 10-minute price action looks okay, even if it kind of pulls back from here and retests the 10-minute 200, it would still probably look okay. So we'll see what happens with it. Euro Kiwi, again, same kind of vibe, but 4 hours, a little weird. Daily, it's all right, kind of bouncing up to daily 50, continuing with the bullish trend. They're all right. I mean, they're not like A-grade setups in my mind, but they're something. Like it's something to trade if a trade needs to be taken. But the main trade I'm looking for is Pound Swiss. I don't have really too many qualms about it. So it's a 1 hour CBO, so a break of both our EMAs on the 1 hour time frame. It's essentially in like wave 1, wave 2, wave 3, you could call this, and this is going to about to be like a wave 5 on our 1 hour time frame, which CBOs are typically wave 5 plays. But I'm looking for a pullback to about 0.382, which should line up with the EMAs in the 1 hour time frame. It should line up with my 4 hour 50, and then it should line up with the 10-minute 200. So IBO on the 4 hour, CBO on the 1 hour, ACB on the 10-minute time frame. Daily time frame wise, looks good. This fits in the overall kind of like bullish bias of pound pairs for probably this week. Same thing as like euro pound, right? Euro pound still has like a bullish bias, like I guess a short bias to it because it's euro pound, but the price action is weird on it now. It's hard to trade. But this is the cleanest thing that I think we've got tonight is this pound Swiss. So hopefully get a pullback and presents an entry. Pound Singapore is another option. Daily time frame wise, you have some nice reversal candlesticks. You have previous kind of support over here. 4-hour time frame. You don't have a lot, but sort of kind of this double bottom, right? So you can see it more so on your 1-hour time frame, and then it's broke out. It broke the previous high on the 1 hour, broke the 1 hour 50. It's just this kind of like sweeping price action is weird to me. Like I'd much rather prefer price it when it's gonna break out, just break, you know, not like sweep and then have go up and then kind of have this weird pullback because it ends up making the 4-hour look weird. Like the 4-hour feels a little trappy right now because you could say draw on this line right here and it's just respecting the previous high on the 4-hour and now it's about to go lower. So something to be aware of. I think it's an option. It fits within the bias, but it's not as clean as pound Swiss. So it's secondary. And then pound Aussie, same vibe as pound Singapore and the rest of these pounds, but kind of a really shallow break, but it does look a lot similar to Aussie yen or Euro Aussie. So the other Aussie pairs, right? Like I have this Aussie weakness bias right now based off price action on the Aussie pairs, and this fits in it. So I mean, but I've already tried to trade this bias once. So if I'm going to trade the bias again, I want the setup to be pretty clean. I want the price action to look good. So just kind of watch it, see how it develops. 1 hour kind of IBO is what it's looking like right now. 10-minute CBO ish. So we'll see. Let's see what happens here. I don't think it really has too crazy of a level though. It's kind of a no man's land, I feel like, as far as your daily goes. It could use a pullback on the daily time frame to at least like these previous lows or the EMAs. So there's room to move to the upside on this pair. It's just, is this the price action that's going to get us there? I don't know. The 4-hour again looks weird. The 4-hour on both pound Singapore, pound Aussie feel a little trappy. So, but you don't get that vibe on pound Swiss, right? Nice kind of clean breakout on the 4-hour and the 1 hour. So yeah, see what happens here. Development watch, watching Aussie Swiss. So essentially it's starting to hit this daily resistance right here. I'm waiting to see, 1, does it hit it? 2, if it breaks down prior to it. But essentially I'm just waiting for a breakdown at this point. I could entertain taking some sort of like an ABO style trade off of that level if it decelerates nicely with a pattern, but more so I'm waiting for a breakdown and then play kind of that wave 3 afterwards. Aussie Kiwi is still on watch. We talked about yesterday, same kind of vibe, just waiting for a breakdown. Pound dollar, similar as yesterday, just waiting for a breakout still. Swiss yen, this did get a break of the EMAs, and I considered it for watch this evening, but what's weird to me is you draw on this trend line and it's sitting at it, so not the best, as well as you can kind of, like, you have support in this area as well. Like on your 4-hour and on your 1-hour time frame, you can see it, you know, here, and now it's kind of bouncing off of it again. So preferably for me, like I wish price would break all of this and I'd be more interested in the trade. It's just sitting out these recent lows in the 1-hour, 4-hour time frame. It feels trappy. Like it seems like this is going to pop up a good bit more. I'm not 100% convinced it's going to follow through with the breakdown at this point. So just waiting to see what happens with it. Dollar yen prices, you know, kind of decelerating pretty decently here. Right, I don't think there's any kind of crazy level on your daily time frame though, so nothing really to trade off of for like an ABO style play, in my opinion. But if we get a breakdown here, I think there is potential for like an IBO in the middle of the day or come tomorrow on this, if that breakdown occurs. And then weekly development wise, pound Kiwi did pull back today for a potential kind of swing trade on it. So still kind of watching this one and seeing how it develops. It's likely not something I'm going to trade. When I'm taking an ACB, I prefer it to pull back to like 0.5 fib for the overall kind of daily movement. This is only 0.382. Yeah. It just feels like a little bit of a shallow pullback to me. I think this could work out either way. I think it could definitely still just respect all of these EMAs and fall down to, this previous low here, or even like the daily 200. But also I could see it breaking back above this and retesting this kind of previous daily high here and having this kind of weird head and shoulder pattern, right? So it's interesting. I'll keep watching it, again, seeing how it develops, but it's likely not something at the moment I'm going to trade this week. CAD PLN also might be easier if we swap it to a weekly time frame so you can see these. CAD PLN, I have on watch for a 4-hour CBO. So swing trade, daily IBO, 4-hour CBO, 1-hour ACB. Just needs a pullback still. Dollar Swiss, same vibes. Dollar Swiss is probably the main swing trade I'm currently looking for. Has a really strong kind of break on your daily out time frame, your 4-hour time frame. So wave 1, wave 2, strong wave 3, looking for a pullback. So to be a 4-hour CBO, a daily IBO, and then a 1-hour ACB. Also, there will be a potential to probably trade a 1-hour IBO on this back down to like the 1-hour 200. And then dollar NOK, similar to dollar Swiss, same vibe. And then dollar PLN, again, same vibe to dollar Swiss, as well as CAD PLN. Very similar. Cool. Hopefully we get a pullback on this pound Swiss tonight, since we didn't get one last night, and make some money. Anyways, that's all I got, and I'll catch you guys tomorrow. See you.